Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with another layout for the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cutfiles design team, and I'm going to be scrapping another wedding photo. So I'm using the Field of Blooms cut file. It's this beautiful floral little sprigs of flowers growing up from the ground, and I thought the pattern of the flowers really mirrored the daisies on that bush there that we're standing behind. So I thought it was perfect, so I'm just trimming down my photo a little here. It is a 5x7, so it's quite large. So I'm just trimming off a bit off the sides and the top because I want to keep all those daisies in the photo. So that's roughly how my layout is going to go. And then I have pulled out the Pink Fresh Just a Little Lovely collection for this layout. I love this collection, it's so gorgeous, and I'm going to use it quite a bit throughout my wedding album, I think. I've already used it a few times. So I pulled out this green paper. I really like this, and I've seen quite a few people fussy cut the florals down the bottom there. So what I'm going to do is just take my X-Acto knife, my little craft knife, and I'm going to slice through a section. So I don't want to cut the whole thing off. I'm just going to cut with my knife. And my big head gets in the way a lot in this video, so apologies for that, but yeah, be prepared. So I am just cutting around the edge of those florals, and I will skip to in a minute to where I have cut all that section out that I want. And I'm just going to slide the cut file down in behind those flowers so it looks like they're kind of growing up from the garden. So I did have to cut a couple of sprigs here and there to make them fit into that gap, but I do keep all of the cut file on the layout. I just have to sort of rearrange it a little bit. You'll see how it all turns out in the end. So there we go, just popping it in. A little bit of trimming here and there. So pretty much like that, and then I will tuck in these little extra bits here. I do have to snip that one a bit as well, just to get it all to fit. Okay, so and now I'm pulling in the 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to use this to back the cut file. So just straight up simple backing a cut file, nothing fancy today. I'm going to use the yellow color that's in this pattern paper to back all the centers of those flowers, and I'm just cutting out a rectangle and gluing it down. I didn't need to be precise with this. And then once I've done that, I will go through and trace and cut. So when I back cut files, I tend to use a variety of different methods just depending on my mood and other factors. Like for this one, I decided to trace and trim because the paper is quite thick. If you've used Pink Fresh paper before, you know it's on the thicker side. So I find it really hard to glue and then trim off the excess when I'm using a really thick paper. So I've just traced the back of the cut file onto the back of the paper and then trimmed out, and then I will glue this down onto the back of the cut file with a little bit of tacky glue. There we go, ta-da, all done. And there's the whole cut file done. Beautiful. Didn't take long at all. This was a really quick one. Okay, I'm pulling out some tissue paper now, and I do have the fan on pretty high. So you can see I'm battling with it a bit because my fan's trying to blow it away. But this tissue paper is really pretty. It's from the reject shop. I just picked it up in the last week or so. And it's in the Christmas range. It's really pretty, a soft pink, and it's got pink and gold, little gold foiled polka dots all over it. It's really pretty. So I'm just using a double layer of that behind my photo, trimming off the excess. Just a nice soft layer. And then I'm going to take this paper just for a bit of extra colour. And I'm going to use that on either side of my photo as a bit of a faux photo mat. And just ruffling up the edges with my scissors, and then I will go in with my fingernails and just sort of twist and bend the edges a little bit further so they are nice and textury. Because it is that really thick paper, you need to be a little rougher with it, I suppose. Quickly trim off that branding strip. And tucking it in again. And while I've got it positioned, I'm just going to put a couple of spots of glue down behind these stems. I don't want to glue down the tops of the flowers yet because I'm going to pop some foam back there in a minute. So just snipping and slotting these in. And I don't know why my head gets in the way so much in this video. It's just one of those videos. So once I've got that all positioned how I want it, I am going to grab my washi tape and I'm going to glue and then tape this bit down. So I'm just going to glue those bits down that I can, and then I will pop some washi tape over those edges as well, just so when I slide it into the protector it doesn't snag. Go. Skip 2. Ready to stick my photo down here. So here we go. And now I'm popping in my foam, so I'm just using some foam squares. I'm using just normal, cheap dollar store ones. Popping just one behind each of the tops of the flowers. I just want them to lift off a little bit off the page. Go. And now I'm bringing in my title. My camera will cut out in a second, but you will see most of this. So I'm going to pop down the script thickers from this collection, and I'm using the words grow and you, and I will use the tiny little, these teeny tiny puffy letters to spell out want to grow old with you. Will be my title. So I'm trying to use the peachy pink letters here and sort of have the ones up the top be the more purpley pink ones. So if you have these letters, you'll know there's two sides, and so it kind of creates a bit of a gradient in my title there. I love that. Such pretty thickers in this collection. So these now that I'm pulling in are vellum flowers from they're from by Rosie Studio. They're rebranded as the Craft Store in the Reject Shop in Australia, but they're from the Indigo Mist collection and they're the vellum florals. So I'm just tucking in around my cut file. I'm trying to a lot of them are really large, so I'm trying to get them to fit in nicely, and I do only end up using a few. I'm just going to chop that one in half. Just want to fill in some of these gaps, but I don't want it to be too cluttered. I don't want every gap sort of filled in with a flower, so I do use quite a few of these leaves. I really like those. So just tuck that little one in there. One goes back here. I've just got to pull that foam up so I can tuck it behind. Just create some really pretty, delicate, soft layers. Tucking, just filling out that floral bouquet. Again, just got to pull up that foam. Lucky I have thick paper, hey. Go. And I will, some of them I glue down here. You can see these are the ones I've tucked it down behind the cut file. So I put the glue down the back where you can't see it, where it's covered by the cut file. And then the ones that are behind the foam squares, they're pretty well adhered down. So I mostly just leave those alone. I'm going to pop another one in here just for a bit of a layer. I do want to build a small cluster to the left of my photo there, so I'm just using that flower as a bit of a base for that. A little bit of glue, there we go. And I pulled out my ephemera, and that little phrase word thing that I'm chopping up there is from the 6x6 paper pad. It's from one of the little cut apart sheets, and it says happiness blooms from within, and I thought that was kind of perfect for this layout where, you know, we're clearly so happy and there's lots of blooms on the paper. I thought I just had to use that little card, so on that goes. And I'm popping in some butterflies. These ones are just ones I've heat embossed and cut out. Going to pop in this little frame from the ephemera pack. I quite like it there. Just adds another layer to the photo. Just tucked back there. And this little tab that says happiness, I think, or something along those lines. And then for my finishing touch, well, one of my finishing touches, I'm going to come in with some splatters, and this is my White Liquitex acrylic ink. I really love this. This has replaced my white watered down acrylic paint for splatters. It's just so easy to dip in and just sprinkle around, and it's nice and opaque. Really pretty. And so my very last touch is going to be some Nuvo drops. So I'm using a, oh gosh, I can't remember the exact colours. Hold on. Okay, so I'm using Ivory Seashell, Calming Aqua, and Raspberry Pink. So I'm doing 3 groups of 3 around my page. Okay, and that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here come the close-ups. Don't forget to go check out the Confessions of a Paper Addict cut file shop. The link is in the description box, and I will see you next time. Bye guys!